Good morning, and welcome to this first service of 2022 at the Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm the Reverend Leslie Takahashi, and my pronouns are she and her. You don't have to believe a creed to be comfortable here among us, and we also have beliefs that we have affirmed and promoted over the centuries that we would be glad to share with you. You can learn more about them on our website, where many resources live. And you can also, if you're there and you're visiting us, fill out a virtual visitor's card there so that we can be back in touch with you and continue to be in conversation with you as well. We are here again, my dear ones, back in a world where we need to take a little break from being together as much as we have enjoyed and truly been heartwarmed by our opportunities to be together in our hybrid services. We are taking a break, and we're going virtual for at least this week and next, and we'll keep you posted as we watch the post-holiday COVID surge, because we know that what's most important is that we are part of keeping everyone safe so that we can continue to have many New Years together, and we celebrate that as we gather. For today, though, we're going to be experimenting with a couple things. We'd like to make this more interactive, and we're always trying something new. So we're going to be asking you, if you can, to participate in today's service through our YouTube channel. And we sent out some instructions on how to do that a couple times last week, but it was a holiday weekend, so you can either find those, or you can just search in your browser for MDUUC and YouTube, and you can find our link there. And that will allow you to join in the chat a little bit later in the service when we'll be asking for your thoughts. I also will be offering an intention setting Zoom meeting this afternoon so we can continue the dialogue about intentions together in a real conversational space. So please join me there if you're interested. That information is also in our Friday email, or you can email me to get that link. Please continue to send in your vaccination information, because we do expect to be back together sometime in the not too distant future. And when we do, it's going to be wonderful to have all our little beautiful heart stickers on our name tags, which will facilitate us coming into our worship services together quickly. So please do send us your proof of vaccination if we don't already have that. We will be continuing, as we have been actually for the last 2 years, to offer what we do virtually throughout these next 2 weeks. So we'll be converting some things and moving them. So please go to our calendar at mduuc.org to see some of the other programs and ways that you can connect with one another. And it is a good time for us to be together and to connect. You can get links and ways to register there. Because this is a very heart-wearying time. If you are in need of a listening ear or financial assistance, please contact me or our intern minister, Michael Macias, who is at michael@mduuc.org, because asking is a gift you give our community. And welcome to our worship service.
Good morning and Happy New Year. I'm Mark David Watanabe, a member of your Board of Trustees, and my pronouns are he and him. Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church is a welcoming faith community. We begin our services by reading our mission together. We bring to life our Unitarian Universalist values as we seek truth and work for justice, nurture compassion and courage, reach out to each other and to our larger community of faith, bridge the divisions that wound the human family, transform ourselves and our world. Welcome to our service. We are so glad to have you with us as we return to a live stream service to counter the post-holiday COVID surge. Let us continue to work to ensure that we can maximize our time together. Thank you for helping to keep our community safe. For the next week, all our programming will be virtual. Please watch the Friday email and news tab on the website for the latest updates. As a community, we have already proven how caring and compassionate we can be and this will be another time to step up to the plate. We encourage you to both participate in our online activities and reach out to one another as you can. Bottom line, let's hang on. We got this. Again, welcome. It's good to be together.
Our chalice lighting this morning is by Marshall Hawkins. We light this chalice as a symbolic act to establish a time in our week when rituals have meaning, stories tell the truth, and the Spirit speaks louder than words of the transcendent mystery of creation and our place in the universe.
Well, what do you know? It's 2022.
Yes, Happy New Year. Did you do any preparation for the new year?
You mean like cleaning and getting things in order?
Yes, that always feels good, and that is the custom in many countries all around the world.
Cleaning, yep. I did that, and are the decorations, which is an important part of the customs in some countries, such as Japan, where they use pines and greens and even bamboo to bring good luck, like we have here on our altar today.
In Brazil, good luck comes when you wear white. Funny how some countries have their own customs.
And even some areas within countries in the southern U.S., you eat Hoppin' John, which is black-eyed peas and greens and sausage and rice.
Filipinos try to have 12 kinds of round fruit. And others think lentils will make your year prosperous.
Michael talked last week about breaking plates, and they do that in Finland too. Whereas in other parts of the world, it's good luck to give someone a gift.
And we haven't even talked about making resolutions. Isn't all this a little superstitious?
Sure. And it's also a ritual, something that is done again and again for a particular occasion.
But rituals don't really bring us good luck, though, right?
Well, maybe the ritual, it's just like the practice of a prayer or a meditation. It makes us very, very conscious of what we are doing and what we want. And by doing that, it makes us very intentional about what choices we make.
And so, because we are really paying attention to our choices, we make more of them that makes us move in the directions we want to move.
Right. And we take the time to get back on track if we have started to wander off course.
Okay, so with all the pine boughs, broken tableware, dried legumes, and brooms in use these last days, we can hope to make this a good new year.
Not only can we hope to do so, we can help to make it so.
And now I invite our musicians to sing our children and youth out to their next activity.
Minasan, akemashite, omedetou gozaimasu, or Happy New Year in Japanese. I'm Jim Lincoln. I am the worship associate this morning. As some of you know, Carrie and I have spent a lot of time in Japan, maybe 5 years altogether. Most of that time we lived in Kyoto, where I was teaching at Doshisha and Ritsumeikan universities. Kyoto is the ancient cultural and religious capital of Japan, home to some 2,000 Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples. We visited the major shrines and temples of Kyoto many times over, and one never tires of them. They feature beautiful, architecturally intricate wooden structures, distinctive in their iconic pagoda roofs, sacred ropes and bells, water purification basins, torii gates in the case of shrines, and expansive, unwalled or thinly walled rooms that invite the outdoors in. It was not uncommon on these visits for us to observe Buddhist and Shinto priests conducting ceremonies and services. Part of what I find delightful about the shrines and temples of Kyoto is that they are so often surrounded by and interpenetrated with nature. Many, like the Heian Shrine, which stages outdoor no plays in the summer, have gorgeous Japanese-style gardens. In other cases, the entire shrine or temple compound is nestled in a wooded grove or forest. An example I love is Kurama in the northern Kyoto foothills, where one can hike miles up mountain trails, stopping at the shrines and temples along the way to meditate or pray or just admire and enjoy. This distinctively Japanese pairing of sacred religious edifice with quiet sylvan setting is something I find very spiritually calming and satisfying. The belief central to Shinto and other nature-based religions that the natural world is infused with and animated by beautiful and sacred forces is one I strongly resonate with. When hiking and camping in the wilderness, which I do a lot, I find myself interacting with the trees and streams and rocks I encounter almost as though they were sentient, conscious beings, or perhaps inhabited by beings such as the wispy kami spirits of Shinto. The more time I spent with the elements of nature, the more they seem to take on spiritually charismatic or numinous qualities that arouse religious experience in me. I feel I am their guest. They have greater claim to being there than I have. And like any proper guest, I respect and defer to them in a reverential way. At the Breath and Spirit retreat that Reverend Leslie organized in October, I participated in a breakout session in which the facilitator asked us to enter into one-on-one encounters with the trees and bushes in the MDUC Redwood Grove. We were to introduce ourselves to a plant of our choosing and have a conversation with it. This seemed a little weird at first, but I found myself quickly getting into it and finding meaning in it. It wasn't all that different from the way I ordinarily interact with nature on my hikes and campouts, just more structured and explicitly conversational. Another kind of guided, communing with, or immersing in nature that MDUCers have taken up of late is the Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing, that originated in Japan and has spread fast to other countries. It has occurred to me that spiritually enriching encounters with nature might come more easily to the Japanese, the vast majority of whom report frequent visits to shrines and temples and participation in their religious rituals and services. Ritual and ceremony descended through long religious tradition equips people with a set of readily available cultural rules and scripts for engaging with the natural world. The enactment of ritual is mostly what Shinto is all about these days, whether it is carried out at shrines or through the many Matsuri festivals that take place regularly all over Japan. UUs may have fewer of these scripts for religious connection and action than other faith traditions, given our historical break with Christian doctrine and liturgy, and the value we place on freedom of religious search and expression. On the other hand, our embrace in recent years of Eastern and earth-centered traditions has led us to new and different forms of ritual meditation and prayer. This is one of many aspects of UUism, I think, in which the journey is the destination and reward. In that spirit of seeking, discovering, and embracing the sacred in our encounters with the natural world, come, let us worship together.
I invite you to join us from your homes as we sing our opening hymn, Bright Morning Stars Are Rising. Bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising, day is a-breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear mothers? Oh, where are our dear mothers? Oh, where are our dear mothers? Day is a-breaking in my soul. They are sowing seeds of gladness. They are sowing seeds of gladness. They are sowing seeds of gladness. Day is a-breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear fathers? Oh, where are our dear fathers? Oh, where are our dear fathers? Day is a-breaking in my soul. They are in the fields a-plowing. They are in the fields a-plowing. They are in the fields a-plowing. Day is a-breaking in my soul.
It is the custom in this congregation, when we lose a member of our community to death, that we light a candle from our chalice. And today it is with great sadness that I let you know that our beloved member of more than 60 years, N.D. Stark, suffered a stroke and a fall last Monday. She has been in John Muir Hospital since then, surrounded by family. I was also able to go visit her and bring her wishes from her community, and especially the Elder Journey community in which she has been so loved in recent years. let us take a moment to hold in our hearts the joy, the adventurousness, the curiosity, and the just amazing, exuberant energy that is Andy Stark. The family anticipates a service in the spring, and we will keep you informed about that. In the meantime, let us do something in celebration of the love of life, for that would be a wonderful way to honor Andy.
Now is the time in our service where we bring to this, our altar of humanity, those things that are too great for any one of us to hold alone. This is the time where we share one another's joys and sorrows. With sadness at the recent death of Nobel Prize winner Archbishop Desmond Tutu, we also celebrate his long life as a freedom fighter in tearing down apartheid in South Africa, and his work as an activist in racial justice and LGBTQIA+ rights throughout the world. Archbishop Tutu wanted to be remembered with these words, as quoted by the Associated Press. He loved, he laughed, he cried, he was forgiven, he forgave, greatly privileged. Archbishop Tutu also spoke of an African word, Ubuntu, as the very essence of being human, that my humanity is caught up in your humanity, that we belong in the bundle of life. We say, a person is a person through other persons. May we remember his life and work by practicing Ubuntu ourselves. Laura Zucker asked that we light a candle for Wally the Bichon, a life well lived. He gave his whole heart to us every day and hopefully felt our love in return. Truly the end of an era. R.I.P., buddy. We also light a candle for all who have loved ones sick with COVID and those themselves that have recently learned that they were exposed. And now we light two final candles, the first representing all of the unspoken joys and sorrows in our heart and minds, and the next candle representing our place in this healing of this one precious and imperfect world.
I invite you to join me or to listen to our music meditation, Faith is a Forest. Faith is a forest in which doubts play and hide. Insight can hear the still small voice deep inside. Web of life, may this thread I weave. Strength in commitment in all I believe. Vision be my guide as I seek my way. Lead me into this tender day. Speak through me in all I do and say. Seeds of both meek and strong are scattered in air. Dignity shines undimmed by bigotry's glare. Web of life, may this thread I weave help me bear witness to all I believe. Justice be my guide as I seek my way. Lead me into this town. speak through me in all I do and say. Fortune, the swift winds of chance, sorrow and pleasure seem united and dance. Web of life, may this thread I weave mingle compassion with all I believe. Mercy be my guide as I seek my way. Lead me into this tender day. Speak through me in all I do and say.
Before we start our ritual of letting go, which has become something of a tradition in our congregation for this first Sunday of the new year, I want to honor all of my colleagues who are here today helping us make this service happen. Faith has been a forest these last couple weeks, and I want to acknowledge that we are deeply indebted to those who are present to make it possible today. I want to thank particularly Reverend Renwa Hamami, our community minister, who came to be with us today so that Mark Tuning, our music director, could get a well-deserved day off and so that we could enjoy Renwa's gifts. So thank you very much for being here. Our amazing intern, Michael Macias, in last week's service, introduced us to the idea of letting go, of the detritus of this last year, 2021, and you know, it's one of those years when you just can't let go enough times. So in many traditions, which honor the connection between the elements of nature and the rhythms of our years, water is a part of purification. So in this space, we invite you to take some time and to consider what keeps you from fully engaging with your life, what keeps you from being present to the miracle of the everyday. These days, the actual days we are living, not the ones we would want to be living, but this actual everyday life that we move into in this 2022. In a few minutes, we're going to listen to Laura Zucker's music, and we will invite you to consider what should change and rearrange, what you might need to add to the waters and let go of and release, so that you can prepare space for the things that are and the ways that you wish to engage actively with them, not waiting for another moment, but taking the moments we have so that you can engage. We have some words to start you off, and you may add your own version of these. We'll have some space for that as well. If you are participating with us on our YouTube channel or our Facebook feed, please go ahead and add a word or a phrase of what you are letting go of in the comments, because we would like to share those together later in our service. Let us enter into the spirit of releasing that which keeps us from being present to the gifts of this year.
Things change, things rearrange, things fall apart. spun free. It's just me holding my heart. It's not on my sleeve. It doesn't know which way to go or what to believe. Fraying at the edges, bursting at the seams. Alien landscape, waking from a dream. Excavated amber, frozen in time. It took me by surprise when life passed my heart by. Always so sure, seeing no more than what's in front of me. Then life turns, and though my heart yearns, the path no longer leads to the life that I've wished for. So what do I exist for? Fraying at the edges, bursting at the seams. Alien landscape, waking from a dream. Excavated amber, frozen in time. It took me by surprise when life passed my heart by. I guess I took some things for granted. It was a lesson too late to learn that things don't always bloom where they're planted, and the sun sets while the world turns. I'm excavated amber, frozen in time. It took me by surprise when life passed my heart by.
Good morning. My name is Steve Hirsch, and I have the privilege of serving all of you on our church board. I use the pronouns he, him, and his. Let me start by wishing all of you a happy new year. Today's call for the offering is a simple wish of prosperity in all of its forms for you, our members, and for our entire community. We've been through a lot this past year and have endured and prevailed. I'm confident we will continue to do so, and that's because of you. It is your engagement of gifts of participation that make a difference. This is the time in our service when we are asked to share our financial gifts in support of our church and the many gifts it provides to us. So please give what you are able by going to the church website, www.mduc.org, and checking the Give Now button. Your generosity is valued and appreciated. Thank you. Now let me read the words of our offering dedication. To the work of this community in transforming ourselves and our world, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings.
I like the idea that the sacred is here in the world with us. That's comforting and companionable. We can have a dialogue with stones. We can talk to trees. We can laugh with the clouds. We can also quibble with our toothbrush, debate with our sofa, grumble at our tea kettle in the morning. The idea that all has a little bit of the sacred makes sense to me, as does the Shinto idea of kami, which is a word that's often translated as the spirits that live in everything, but it's more complex. It's the idea that there is a life force that is in everything: people, animals, the natural world, and even man-made objects, which, after all, if you go back far enough, all originate in the natural world. This pulpit has the spirit of the tree and also the spirit of its creator. The concrete floor beneath us holds the whispers of the ocean, remembered in the longings of the grains of sand that make up the cement. In Japan, a New Year's Day visit to a Shinto shrine is a gesture of asking the spirits to be in alignment with the next year. It's an act of intention. It's a putting of oneself in right relationship with those spirits, in whatever form they're in. In this way, ritual acknowledges both which is beyond us and that which is also within us, that sacred little piece of energy that we have also. Kind of in the same spirit as the Jewish tradition of Tikkun Olam, the light that was broken, where the sparks and shards were sent into every one of us. Just as poetry can hold the complexities of truth that prose sometimes can't, spiritual concepts like the idea of the kami spirits in every one of these chairs and trees and birds and turkeys hold something that we know is true and yet can't put words to. Now, because we're doing this in our Unitarian Universalist tradition, we'll take a moment now for the doubting part of our own hearts. And that voice: superstition, it scoffs. And of course, these beliefs aren't concrete. However, they are like those grains of sand that make up the concrete. For we all know, and we know that I think more now than we knew it 2 years ago, that truths exist that aren't just hard and fast the way concrete is. They're more shifting, like sands. Joy, for example, it's real, and so is love. And both of them are as hard to talk about as the feeling of sunlight on your face or the memory of someone who you've loved and lost. Yet these are just as real as the sensationalism of media or the hatred of rumor or the plague of false news. And we know all of those have power. So why can't these essential energies of life? As we start 2022, we might find ourselves with a particular antipathy towards the idea of anything that we do mattering, because it's so clear that everything is always changing and rearranging, and we might want to have a big, stinking argument, yelling fest with a COVID germ, as long as we can do it at a healthy distance. And yet, the word ritual or rite is also of the same etymology as the word order. And we all know in this disordered world that we need some time. We have never before so much needed some time to set ourselves in order and to set ourselves right. We can clear out space for what we want. These times make us wrap into ourselves, sometimes into our best selves, and perhaps also sometimes into the parts that are less generous and creative, loving and expansive. So we want to hear now if there are things that you wanted to let go of. And I'm going to invite my colleague Rodney to share some of the words you shared as I drop some papers into our water in honor of your wishes.
I'm releasing sometimes my hardened heart, releasing doubt to make room for abundance, letting go expectations of perfection, fear to try new things, impatience, self-doubt, fear of judgment, expectations of others and of self, fear in general, and finally, the feeling of helplessness. Thank you for participating in that experiment and trying something new so that we could hear your voice during this service in the way we can this year. We really appreciate that. We're going to do another ritual together, another time of meditative thought. And we do these rituals in our world, at the shrine, here at the church, in our homes, in the streets, because we need each other to bear witness to what we ask in these perennial questions. What are our intentions for ourselves? What will contribute to our health and happiness? What are our intentions for those we love, and how can we give them more joy and freedom? What are our larger concerns in the world? Free elections, the right to shelter and health, the need to tilt the scales of inequity, and how do we take back our power to act? And that is what I'd like us to ground our intentions in today, because our skeptical voice, that skeptical part within our hearts, we may be hearing it in a dialogue with our favorite snarky t-shirt this year, giving intention a bit of a pretty big stink eye this year. Because these times of continually having our plans jerked out from under us can make us feel as if every plan we make gets changed, that every hope we have gets dashed. So why not just succumb to the message of the fridge and the screen and the couch, because their spirits might also be all we have. So, this morning, we invite you to take some time to consider what you want for yourself, for those you love, and for our wider world. When we feel powerless, we can be resigned to all kinds of injustices for ourselves and for others. The longer this pandemic goes on, the more resigned we become to living as reactors rather than actors. This 2022 is a new year, and in it, let us regain our power of action and intention. And so we begin this last ritual of embodying the sacred. Today, in this first service of 2022,
May we dare to explore our intentions, reassert that we have power to make choices on how we expend our energy in these precious days to come. If we look across a whole year, we can feel overwhelmed. So we might as well just look at this new year in these first few days and make these intentions for these first days, and then the days after, and then we'll see how it goes. We're going to begin with a version of the Buddhist loving kindness practice, this one informed by Arzika Rizak of the East Bay Meditation Center.
Please allow yourself a moment of loving embrace of yourself. May I be well in mind, body, and spirit, and may any parts not well be treated with respect and compassion.
And now we invite you to bring to your mind the pictures of those nearest and dearest to you and offer these wishes to them. May you be well in mind, body, and spirit, and may any parts not well be treated with respect and compassion. And we invite you to bring to mind those you meet in your everyday and extend these wishes to them. May you be well in mind and body and spirit, and may any parts that are not well be treated with respect and compassion.
Now, in whatever form you can, embrace the globe, and may all beings be well in mind, body, and spirit, and may any parts not well be treated with respect and compassion. And in the statement of these intentions, claiming our own spirit, our own enlivenedness, our own life energy, we ask here within the embrace of our community, how will I contribute to my own well-being today? What strength and resolve, caring and healing energy will I offer to build the peace I wish to inhabit? How will I contribute to the well-being of those I love? What strength and resolve, care and healing energy will I offer to the peace I wish to inhabit?
How will I contribute to the well-being of those I encounter in my days? What strength and resolve, care and healing energy will I offer to the peace I wish them to inhabit?
How will I engage in that which will increase the well-being of communities and peoples? What energies and forces for good will I be willing to expend?
So let us take one more moment together, sharing the gift of silence and intention, to consider our wishes for this 2022. Together, may our shared commitments make the rituals of this year more than empty rites. Day by day, choice by choice, may we reclaim our power to shape the world. So may it be.
And in the spirit of our intentions for this year, I invite you to join in our closing song, We Give Thanks. You can sing with it, you can sing and echo with it, you can think about all you are thankful for as we sing together.
With love
And now, as we extinguish the flame of our chalice, I'm reading the words by poet Amanda Gorman. This hope is our door, our portal. Even if we never get back to normal, someday we can venture beyond it to leave the known and take the first steps. So let us not return to what was normal, but reach toward what is next.